Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. I am joined all the way from stateside by that man, Lucas. And he is going to here to talk about West Ham, the team he loves as much as me, and also to talk about a few betting things, if there's any betting things going in the near future that we can all get on. So, yeah. Lucas, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you? I must admit, the intro video always gets me going. Great song. Really gets the vibes going.
It gets the vibes going, but don't get the subscribers.
that alone should push you to 200, maybe 300, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know. So what's been occurring, Lucas? How you been? And as West Ham have been off.
It's been really slow. Just paying attention to a bunch of U.S. men's national team. We're starting to absolutely dominate CONCACAF, which is great. We're starting to dominate Mexico every game we play them. It's been a real treat because they've had our number for quite some time now, probably ever since like 2003, 2004. They just always seem to beat us. But now,
yeah,
this is the first time we've beat them 3 times in a calendar year ever, which is huge for us.
Good, man. Good. What do you make of England? Did you see England earlier?
I don't watch them because they keep playing countries the size of the state I live in. Maybe less.
I know what you mean.
You know what to expect.
Yeah.
Like Harry Maguire is cheeky for every celebration he does against San Marino.
I make Roy Keane right though, mate. Talking about
I agree.
I make him 100% right, Roy Keane. He's a die-hard Manchester United through and through, and he's just saying it how it is. And
I mean, you shouldn't be doing this against San Marino. I mean, come on.
Even like Jazza says, #United would beat San Marino. I totally agree.
I agree.
Anyone who says like, and I tell you what, I didn't even watch it tonight. I was sitting there watching the dog racing. I wasn't having a bet. I was just watching dog racing. I knew it was on, and I just couldn't get up for it. Do you know what I mean? You can't get up for games like that because you just know it's going to be a one-sided annihilation. Do you know what I mean? It's just men against
what did it finish?
5-year-olds.
What did it finish?
10-0.
Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. So, for me, how can you get up for a game like that? Like, I can't sit there in front of my TV going,
I wish I could say the same, but I've seen the U.S. national team lose to Trinidad when we had to beat Trinidad to get into the World Cup, and we couldn't do that, and that was rough.
Yeah, I know. So, as talking about World Cup and everything, Mikel Antonio scored a goal the other day, Lucas, against El Salvador, and then they go to see one in the 90th minute and draw the game. Obviously, Souček scored, Ben Rama scored, and all for Algeria. How much are you looking forward to getting back, mate, to watching West Ham Saturday? I'm saying I can't wait.
I need it. You know, it's always bittersweet to go on international break, but it pains me a little more when we win and we have to go on a break. It's a lot easier when we lose and we go on a break because it's just kind of a recovery period. But I'm looking forward to it. I get a little taste tomorrow. Mikel Antonio plays U.S. national team tomorrow. Should be very interesting. I hope he doesn't play, but
where's that? Where's that being held?
I think they're playing in Jamaica, or they're not playing in the U.S. So they're probably going to play on a pitch with a few potholes in it, but hopefully he'll get through with no injury.
Wow, mate. Do you know what? I just hope he don't get injured. I really do.
CONCACAF is really, really, really rough when it comes to pitches. Like, honestly, U.S. and Mexico are probably about reliable of grounds as you can get in the facilities, but like everywhere else, my goodness, it is rough.
That is Lucas. They call him Lucas. That's the co-host of the evening. One of my good friends, Jazz. Hope you're well, sir. I hope you're keeping well, mate. I must admit, I done Jazzy's journey the other day. Fucking hell, mate. I know this is going to be a late night show and this is like after hours, but where Jazz travels from to go to home games, fair play to him, mate. Tell you what, I went up there the other day to go and watch my local team play, obviously, because West Ham weren't on. I thought Saturday afternoon, let's go and watch a bit of footy somewhere. And my local team were playing in Maidenhead, which is about 70 miles from my house. And I thought, you know what? I thought I'd go down there and do the journey. And I spoke to Jazz in the evening. I was absolutely bollocks, right? And I was like, you know what? This is like, I'm just knackered because obviously the journey going there, go to the game, and then come home from there. And I said to Jazz, I said, I was around your way. He said, I said, how you do that every time? He's like, it's a long, long way, mate. I must admit, it's a long, long way. But yeah, all good though.
Dedication for sure. I mean,
that is dedication, mate. 100%.
I'm usually a journeyman, so like anything under 3 or 4 hours, I'm usually up for. But anything over that, it's tough ass.
Yeah, Jazz. Of course, Lucas has been on there. Lucas has been on there. It's Lucas, not Luke.
Either or works.
Yeah. Lucas has been on there from you, Jazz. You've been on there multiple times. But yeah, let's get on to that. That's a good question from Hannah's dad. Right, so I'm just going to do a late night show, talk about all sorts. What's the matter with West Ham getting banned, Lucas?
It's unfortunate. Normally you see that kind of thing happen with larger numbers of inappropriate activity, we'll just call it. But from what I've seen on Twitter and wherever, it only seemed to be like a handful of people. And I don't know. I haven't seen yet if it's because of the flares we sent off after the first goal. But did you see the clip today of the Ajax Borussia Dortmund game where they literally set off fireworks and flares? It literally looked like the whole ground was about to catch on fire. Nothing happened to them. So I don't know. It's strange.
Joe, what I think is though, it's bad from UEFA. Don't get me wrong. It is bad.
Oh yeah.
It's also bad from West Ham PR.
Yeah.
Like, what is West Ham doing? Like, they're allowing people to just like go and book hotels, book flights, and everything, and not even tell no one. I mean, it's just
Oh, and I mean, as we've all learned over the years, can't really trust anything that comes out, even a statement. But I'm more proud and surprised that they mention refunds and club points and stuff, which is nice to know because normally they kind of like will blow that over and then they'll be like, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, I know. I've got a couple of questions here, I must admit. Jazz is saying Lucas reminds me of the American guy called Lucas. Well, he's the American guy called Lucas because he's from American Hammers. Jazz is laughing. I'm on the virgin blood again. Yeah, no, I only come out at night, mate. I'm not a vampire. What was the food prices and quality like in Maidenhead? I must admit, I will say one thing. It looked like a nice place. Right, when I went down there, fucking for a beer though, £4.50 a pint. I was like, whoa, mate, that's like me and my mate.
Is it more like a city or the country?
Yeah, it's a town. It's just a little town, basically. And basically, I travelled down there, and it was good. It was a good day out, but it's just I went into this place called like O'Neill's, which is basically like a bar with a bit of music and all that. And I went in there and I said I can have 2 pints. And usually round my way, 2 pints come to about £6, £6.20, something like that. Fucking nearly a tenner. I was like, mate, that's just how the rich live. You know what I mean? I was gonna go around Jazzy's, mate, and have some run with him. I thought.
Yeah, as a diehard beer drinker, the one pub that me and the DC Irons go to, they just started serving Carlsberg, and as an American, I love Carlsberg personally, and they're charging like $6 a pint, which is, I mean, I get it, exporting, but yeah, they run me dry over there.
$6 a pint. So how much would you do on a night out then?
I mean, I just hammered 11 beers the other night there's a thing over here in America, we call it Friendsgiving. So instead of Thanksgiving, we just get a bunch of friends and whoever together, and I just picked up a 12-pack of Miller Lite. That was like, again, depends on where you're at, but it was like $14, $15. So it was all right.
No, what it is, Luke says here, £4.50 a pint. That's cheap where I am. Nah, mate, I go to a local club, like social club, with like little bar and all that. It's got a bar, it's got TV in it. When West Ham's playing, obviously, where I don't sort of go to the home games because of the owners, I usually go up there. It's cheap beer, and where I know the owner in there, I get it for like I think it's like for a JD and Coke's like £3, and for a beer, I've like Guinness or something because I like a bit of Guinness.
I was hearing Croatia was like a dollar 50 a pint or a pound 50.
Hmm. Yeah,
That sounds brilliant to me.
that's a good stag weekend. I must admit, I got to admit, if I ever get married. Jazz says the Dimbleby brothers Parkinson, Rolf Harris live near Maidenhead, Bray Village, where Heston has a pub. The Royal Windsor. Maidenhead is posh and expensive. Ascot around the corner. I must admit, yeah. I was literally, as I come out of Maidenhead station, Jazz, I was literally there. That's where I was, literally at just Maidenhead station. But I'll give Jazz his due, though, mate. It's where he's sort of ran the corner from Maidenhead. He lives just sort of Windsor way. Fucking missions to go to a home game, mate. And what it is with me, I live literally. I can walk up to the station, get on the train, and I'm in sort of Stratford in 15 minutes, 20 minutes max, right, on a fast train. And basically, like Jazz has got to do two-hour journey, mate. That's 2 hours there, 2 hours back, and going and watch a game, and go and have a few beers, mate. And no wonder like it costs a bomb for him each time. I've got to admit. Are you so? What do you reckon then, Lucas, with West Ham so far this season? Your thoughts?
I mean, I don't think I've met someone disappointed in the way that we're playing right now. It's great times to be a fan. I've only been watching so I started getting into West Ham around 2015. So the end of the Enter Valencia campaign, and Mario Zarate was my first like favorite player when I started watching, and I haven't been around as much as a lot of other people, but I've experienced the up and downs near relegation. So right now, I could not ask for more. I'm delighted.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm pretty surprised myself, mate, at where we're playing. And I think the next 4 games decide it for me.
Same.
Do you know what I mean? There you go. It's a good question from Jazz. Chuck your questions in the chat, people. And if you're new around here, please do subscribe. Get me to 200. It would bloody help. Trust me. Looking at that shirt behind, Lucas, what are your feelings with Johnson taking over?
I am team above everything. Club above everything. No one player is bigger than the club, except for a few rare ones in certain situations. But I'm all for Ben Johnson coming out and doing the damn thing. I'm proud of him. I wouldn't call myself a skeptic, but there's definitely been some matches where everyone's like ranting and raving over Ben Johnson. I'm like, I don't really think he was that great. He wasn't bad, but I'm not in on the hype yet. But I wouldn't say I'm sold yet, because you know how it is. Anybody can put in 2, 3, 4 great performances and then just
derail
down. Yeah. But I love what I'm seeing from Ben Johnson right now. I think he just needs to clean up a few little nicks and crannies of the game, and he'll be a special player. I mean, he's already showed he's got quality with that left foot finish from outside the box against Aston Villa. That was incredible. That's what about did it for me. Those are moments where, like, some people need that moment where, like, how can this player show me he's different? Like that right there. That was my alarm going off. Like, wow, he's got something about him.
I've got to admit, with me personally, I thought Ben Johnson needed to play in his natural position. Jazz can back this up. Jazz said about putting him out on loan last year, and I said, "Nah, Jazz, you got to play him in a natural position. You'll get a good player there." And Jazz has seen it this year, and I must admit, I've been thoroughly impressed with Ben Johnson. It is so important that we sign this man long term. Do you know what I mean?
Get that done. now.
It's got to be done. It's got to be like we can't muck about. And do you know what? It'd be nice just to have it done before the January window, because I think come January, I think he can put in someone from a foreign club can put in a free contract agreement. I'm sure of it from abroad. They can't do it in the UK, but they can do it abroad. So, do you know what I mean? If someone looks at him and says, "You know what, he ain't bad," we'll take him off you. Do you know what I mean? Like I think Kafal has been unlucky, really. Do you know what I mean? If I'm honest, getting injured against Man United and then that's it.
But that's how it goes. I mean, we all need. I'm always welcome for competition. That you need that. That is part of sports. You're never comfortable. You should never be comfortable. There's got to be a standard upheld. Like my favorite American football team is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we have this famous saying that we've said for years, and it makes sense, but grammatically not really. The standard is the standard, and only people that are fans and like played for the team, they know what that standard is. So
the
standard's the standard, and that's what I've really loved so far about this year. Like we've set ourselves with a high standard, as we should, and we have been living up to the bill almost the full way, except for a few matches like Brentford and Leeds, or not Leeds, Brentford and Man United. Yeah.
I must admit, I agree. But Luke's put in a comment in here, right, to sort of divide opinions.
Could you tell him Croatian by looking at me, huh?
he knows you're Croatian, so he's gone, would you drop Ben Rama so Flashy can bed in? Just see how that lands. What do you reckon, Lucas?
No. I will admit though, we don't see the same. We're not on the same side of the fence, but I like to think everyone can be right about this situation. I personally, I would like to see him get a go with the first team eventually, but he hasn't necessarily deserved the chance yet.
As someone who's been watching him, and like obviously you follow Croatian football, obviously, are you surprised that he hasn't hit the ground running?
I'll say no, just because everyone knows how tough it is to adjust to the Premier League. Like you just can't be an average baller and play in the Premier League. You've got to have something about you, and usually if you don't have something about you, your work rate's got to be top notch. And while I don't think he's showcased his qualities and his skills, the work rate, in my opinion, is definitely there. But like I said, I would like to see him play with the first team like once or twice before myself giving a good opinion, a good evaluation. I just can't say anything yet when he's playing with Yarmolenko, Masuaku.
Yeah. See, Andy said that. Andy Miles said that to me, West Ham United, and he turned around and he said the same thing. How can you judge the man when he's playing against? Well, he's playing with Yarmolenko, for crying out loud. Do you know what I mean? So,
and we don't really know what he brings to the table yet, besides like a great work rate. Because with Croatia, he mostly plays in the hole and out wide, and it's international play, so you can't really cement somebody's play style off that because everyone does everything different. Like, I mean, for Christ's sake, Yarmolenko, Zinchenko for Man City, he plays in the midfield for Ukraine. He doesn't play left back. He only plays left back in Man City. But like I said, I'd like to see how he gets on with the first team, but he hasn't necessarily deserved that chance yet, which I don't mind.
But I understand what you're saying, though, Lucas. I do. Like, let me ask you this. Got two questions for you. Jez says, does Lucas think Flassy is a £30 million player?
I'm about the same as you. I'm being a West Ham fan, and our budget always being super stingy. £30 million for us, that is a lot for a player.
Yeah, it's a lot of dough, yeah.
That's a lot.
That's the
And
reason why I get frustrated a little bit,
yeah,
because people say give him time, and I'm like, well, we can't
and
keep
again,
going out.
yeah, and again, I agree with you on that because we don't know if he has time. That's the
Mm,
thing, which I
yeah,
also agree with. And so, and I've been seeing so many different number figures. Like apparently it was 25, and there's like 9 to 10 million pound add-ons, which like
it's
whatever.
30. It's 33.5, and it goes up to 38. That's what it is.
So
So it's
for
not 20, not
if we're
25.
calling it 30 flat,
Yeah.
right now I'd say no. We
Mm.
could have
How much?
probably
How much do you think he's worth? Like from what you've seen.
he plays pretty well for Croatia. I wouldn't say he's like an important cog in the machine, but he's damn near close to like he's got to be on the team sheet. I mean I think 30 would be fair to a little bit high. Like I think that's a fair
Mm.
price for a player like him, but and I think he does fit the style of football we like to play, but again, like I just can't make a solidified opinion when I see him playing with Yarmolenko and Noble and Lanzini.
I
Like
can
I just
understand it. I can understand that argument. I can. I
because
really, really can.
I really think that if and I'm a huge Pablo Fornals guy, but I've always been in the camp that I think there's certain games that
Yeah.
that's his game. Like for a team like Liverpool, Fornals has to play that game because
Mm.
we're going to be
I
playing
agree.
slow, counterattack, yada yada yada. But if we're playing a team like Norwich and we're going to have possession, we're going to put our foot on their throats. I think if you put Vlasic, Benrahma, and Bowen in the attacking midfield, I really think Vlasic would shine like with
Mm.
those two others. But I I'm always a personnel guy. So even with the Diop Dawson situation, I think that is strategical. Like I don't think any one of them has really pushed the envelope on who should be the new starter for Albano. I
Mm.
think it's purely situational, depending on the
Mm.
club we're playing.
And he says there, what is Vlasic's best position in your opinion, Lucas?
In the hole, unfortunately, where Benrahma is best. But Benrahma did play very well out on the wing with Fornals in the hole, which
Mm.
I think Fornals is also best in the hole. But his work rate is so good. You got to put him on the left to cover Cresswell.
See, I think Ben Rama. I think as a 10, I don't think he's that. I don't think he's that creative as a 10. I think as a wide man, he can drift in and out, and he can swap sides, swap flanks.
And be
Um,
able to go at a fullback when presented the
yeah, and
opportunity.
I
Yeah,
think he can. I think he can beat any fullback 1-on-1. I think
yeah,
he's, if
same.
he's up against that deep ball. I think when he's trying to pass the ball, pass and move, I just don't think he works for him. I really don't. I love Ben Rama to bits. I think he's class, but at the end of the day, I think this passing and moving, it works in a team system. But as for him personally, I just don't think it does. Jazz says, does Lucas think he has pace? I am not sure. I'm surprised how small he looks. Now, I've got to admit, Lucas, before you answer this,
Mm-hmm.
when I watched him against Manchester United, I thought he was ultra slow. I thought, what is going on here? I thought this geezer just he looked miles away from where we need to be. Obviously, he's got time. Will that come, mate, for you?
Uh, I mean, Jazz isn't wrong. He's not known for his pace. I honestly think a great comparison as a player and for potentially the time it'll take for him to become what either Moyes, whoever bought him, because again, I don't think anyone can tell if it's a Moyes or Sullivan signing. I can't,
Mm,
but I really think he's in a Fornals situation where like Fornals first came here, like he did not hit the ground running, but the guy ran his socks off every single
yeah.
match. Vlasic so far he's grafted every match I've seen him play personally from what I've seen, focusing in on him a little bit. But I mean, it's different for me because I don't know really what the average body of a footballer is supposed to be. I'm used to NFL and NBA where like an average body in that is like 6'4", 6'5". So I mean he's 5'10". So I would say he's not the shortest for a soccer player. That's probably about average, 5'10". But I think he's just like in the same position as Fornals when he first came here. But I do think Vlasic offers more going forward. And I mean,
I hope so.
He didn't win Russian football or Russian league footballer of the year for no reason. But again, that's not really
See, the
that's
only
not an
thing with that,
accolade to boast, in my opinion.
yeah, the only thing with that though, because just to counter that quickly before we move on, is that he's won that, and I've heard that. Obviously, Tom has said that. Me and Affers have had good debates on American Hammers about that. But he was here for 12 games. He should be up to speed. And can West Ham really afford to go and pay 33.5 million?
Again, like I said, I totally agree. I think mostly everyone's right in their takes about him. It just, again, the main issue is, do we have the time?
Yeah, and I agree.
And we'll find out soon, very soon.
Yeah. I agree, mate. I really do. Luke says, should we use the check money to buy the new players or ease GSB and their loans out of the club? Now, for me, this is a no-brainer now. We buy players. Simple as that. We need a left back. We need a striker. We need another wide man, so to speak. Because let's be honest, if Ben Rama and Fornells get injured, we ain't got no wide man. And we're putting Arthur Mezzawaku there for me, and that's not good enough. What do you think, Lucas? Before,
if it was me, I definitely want to go on a nice little shopping spree, maybe do a little window shopping and commit to a few players. But I mean, we all know how David Moyes is usually. Like, he's presented the money and, he's very patient. That's the one thing I do appreciate with Moyes, even though like we all would love to see him spend all the money that he has. But he may be slow, but he's very precise in who he gets. But January, I think this January transfer window is a no-brainer. We've got to get, like, say if you present to me the question, we could only get one player, which I don't think will be the case. I think we'll get 2, 3 at most. But if we could only get one, we have to get a striker. Bare minimum. We're all used to disappointment. We're all used to that. So I always set myself up for that. So we just need a striker so bad. We got to get a striker.
Well, let me put this to you, Lucas. Let me put this to you. If West Ham go and get a striker and Jesse Lingard signs at this club, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, but where does that leave Vlasic, in your opinion?
It's a tough spot. Like, when you realistically look at the squad depth, it's almost like, why would you get Lingard when you just bought Vlasic? And the midfield hierarchy is going to be a tricky one. Vlasic will be pushed down again, most likely. But I haven't really been too keen on Lanzini this season. Like, he's definitely improved from years past. And mind you, we all know because of injuries, Lanzini is not the same as he once was. But that'll put Vlasic behind Lanzini probably, which, I mean, it's not the best of looks when you're getting pushed below him. But it's going to be very tricky. But where I'm at right now with the transfer window, it's 2 things that need to be done. 1, we need to get a striker, and 2, we need to make Declan Rice happy. And we all know we've got to get Jay Lings. We got to get the man. We got
100%, mate.
We got to get the bloke to make our Deckers happy.
Because I agree. I just want to read this comment out. Vlasic needs to come and play teams in the bottom half, more of the ball and more space. He will score. I agree, but the only thing is with that is if he don't perform, then he's right under it, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's like putting himself up. James, should ban the word soccer from the stream. It's an American thing. You know what I mean? He's all right. Could have got Armstrong and
I've
Lingard.
gotten it out of my vocabulary. I've been trying very hard.
Yeah, it's British football, Lucas.
I've been saying football and American football lately.
Yeah. Jazz says here, I just want to put this on because it's a good comment. 150 million debt sounds pretty small. Some other clubs' debts. I don't understand this with the debt. I really don't. All right. People keep saying we was in debt. But
Never
if we go and win,
owners if we're in debt. So
yeah, but if we go and win something this year, or we finish in the Champions League positions, surely that's going to help ease the debt rather than. You know what I mean? I don't understand that one. All right, but I do agree with what Jazz is saying. Luke says Jazz's soccer. Was it Jazza? Soccer is a working class English word from the Illinois Underslang Association. Yeah, Jazz. But it's better the debt against owning the stadium than GSB's holdings. Well, the moment GSB go, let me ask you this quickly, Lucas, as we're going for like a late night chat on E20 Zone TV. What do you make of the Croatian, the Czech Republic shareholder coming in?
There's been a bunch of mixed feelings. Like, you know how Twitter goes. He said, she said, there's different views. But, I mean, I think we can all agree that this is definitely the step in the right direction to get the toxicity out of our club as soon as possible. So I'm all for it. We just need to get the three clowns out as soon as possible. I've always been on that train, even with Pi. Like, yes, it was very questionable how they did everything, but like at the end of the day, for me, I'm a lesser evils kind of guy, and GSB to me will always be top drawer evil to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's near the end now of them. If I'm honest, I think the time is coming where when 2023 arrives,
I'm hoping.
I don't think they will be able to sort of hang about.
I want to see you back at that London stadium. I want to see you there.
I'll be there, mate. Trust me. I'll be there with Jazz getting at me nut and everything regularly. I've got to admit, and I'll be with Andy and everyone. Because the thing is with me, and I've got to say this, is if I go back now, I'm an hypocrite because it'd be like,
I love that.
Like, because West Ham are doing great, you're going back. You're going back there, and I haven't been there for the bad times, so I'm not going to go there for the good times. You know what I mean? I'm going to go there when they're once that owner is the majority shareholder of the club.
Yep.
Then I will go back there, pay my money, and
I've got a famous saying I always love bringing up when talking about stuff like this. A good grudge keeps you alive.
Yeah.
I've got many. That's what keeps me going.
But it ain't that. It's not that. It's the fact that when you're looking at it and you're going, right, I want to see progression at West Ham because I don't want to get to 50, 60, 70 years old and I haven't seen my team win something. Like, do you know what I mean? It's teams like Wigan have won something. Portsmouth have won something. Like, I want to see West Ham win something. Yeah. And I will be fighting that train on many platforms that I do go on, I must admit. Evening, Simon. Hope you're well. Not if your balance sheet is top heavy to bets service debt without fixed assets.
I've got a minor in accounting, but I'm not that great. A little gibberish for me.
I must admit, we will smuggle you a West Ham way event before the Norwich game, James. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I might go to that, but I won't go set foot in the ground while they're there. I must admit, because my birthday, funny enough, is what is it? 2 days before that game. They've got the Arsenal game that I'm trying to go to. The Arsenal away game I'll go to, but the home games I won't go to. But it's going to be interesting to see how it all sort of pans out. How do you think the next 4 games go, Lucas, for us? Obviously, we've got Wolves Saturday, Manchester City, then we've got Brighton, and then we've got Chelsea home.
Yeah. I mean, we say this all the time because we're so new to what we're seeing. I think this right here again, we've said it so many times throughout the season already, but this right here, I think, is the most important 4-game test. Because who'd you say we got? We got Wolves, Man City, Chelsea, and then who was the other?
It's Wolves, Man City, Brighton, then Chelsea.
We've got a bogey. We got our famous bogey team in Brighton. We got Chelsea, who is that's my Premier League champion personally. Man City, and then Man City will be seen with our first team instead of our. I don't even want to. The team that we beat them with, that'd be kind to call them our B team. That was a C- team. And then Wolves are no pushover. I think it's going to be really tough. I'm excited to get back at it. I'm excited to see the Man City match with our first team instead of the C team. Chelsea will be a phenomenal test. That's going to be a slugfest in my opinion, because you've got two defensive minded coaches, and then their philosophies going forward are completely different. So that's going to be like an old fashioned boxing match. And then
I agree with this. Sorry to cut in. I agree with this comment, what Jazz is saying. He goes, you can't keep saying it's a must win every game. 4 games ago, we said that the same as a test, and take every game as it comes. The problem is, and this is my opinion on that, the next 4 games decide if we're going to be if we're challenging for the title or not. Because I do believe, listen, I might be deluded. People might think I'm mad watching this, but I believe if we go and beat Man City and we don't lose against Chelsea and we beat the other 2, we have got to be in the conversation. You have to be. There's no two ways about it.
Every week every period so far has been a different test. It's like, are we going to get relegated? Are we going to stay top 10? Can we push top 6? Or are we going to push for top 4?
I think the Liverpool game proved it to us, though, Lucas, that we can match up with the big guns. Do you know what I mean? I think. Listen, when you look back at that Liverpool game, right, we scored early, which helped the situation. Because I think if we go a goal behind, I think we get done. But we scored early. We defended pretty decently, really. It took them to score like a weldy free kick that was never a free kick anyway. And I thought second half, though, it's the best I've seen West Ham play. Like literally from start to finish.
I think the City and Chelsea matches, that for me will see where we are top 4 wise, because don't get me wrong, Liverpool, one of the best clubs in the world. I hate them, but they're one of the best clubs in the world. They're not necessarily the best team defensively, so there is something to exploit there. But Chelsea and Man City, they are so good. Even without a striker with Man City, they are so bloody good. But Chelsea, to me, that will be the big one, because they have no weakness. Even having to play Havertz up top, like, they've got no weakness. They are so good.
With me personally, I think Chelsea are good, but I think they can be got at defensively, though. I must admit, Christensen and Rudiger a couple of years ago, the Chelsea fans wanted them out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now, we've took their boy and Zuma, who I think's been.
And to be fair, a lot of these top clubs have not played the strength of schedule that we have had. Like Liverpool played nobody before us. They played Man City, which they drew, and they played Man City, Man United,
Man City, Chelsea.
Yeah, that's all they played. Yeah. They played Norwich. I mean, they drew to Brighton, but like they played a bunch of, in America we like to call them shitters, shitty teams.
Yeah.
Respectfully, shit. But like with Chelsea, for me, Chelsea and Man City, those are the 2 best all-around teams for me, and that will really show it. I mean, we've already showed progression, but that will tell me, like, all right, we're in business. We're really about to do it.
Well, let's talk about some betting things on it. We're currently 55-1 to win the league. And I see the other day we're 100-30, so that's 10-3 to finish in the top 4. Now, I think I see something else. To finish in the top 6 was even money. I think it was. I personally think I really do. I think we can do something this year. I think we can win something. Right.
Well.
I think FA Cup will be out of the realms of possibility. I think if we go and beat Chelsea on the 22nd of December, I think the FA Cup we won't be able to do unless we have two lower league sides straight away, bank one after the other. We might be able to compete in that, but I think
maybe our Sunderland dream will come true another year. Everyone keeps praying for Sunderland.
See, I just got to go through this a minute. We forgot that Chelsea have Lukaku once he's fit. But we've got Pablo Fornals and we got Zuma.
We got Craig Dawson.
Yeah, but the way I look at it is, as long as we don't lose against Chelsea, I think that's a good result. So if Burnley can draw against them, and there's been other games where they've played pretty crap, really.
Yeah.
Jez says here, James, what's the latest on Ben Mum's 10 goals odds? Well, I got it at 40-1. It's now 7-2. 7-2. So I got it at 40-1. He needs to start banging in some goals before the African Cup of Nations, though, I must admit. If I'm going to get anywhere close on this, I need at least 2 or 3 goals before.
He's at 4 goals right now, right?
3. 3 in the Prem, yeah. If he can get to 5 or 6 or more before he has to go African Cup of Nations, I'll be happy with that. But then he has got good teams coming up. He's got Wolves who are going to play on the front foot, so that's a decent one. He's got Norwich. He's got Arsenal who are going to go forward. So yeah, he's got good chances. But I need Benny to start performing really for me for that bet to come in. I must admit. Obviously, right, we look at it now, that Lucas, right? So in the sort of grand scheme of things with West Ham, right, especially in America, how are West Ham being sort of perceived in America now? Because obviously we see it the other day on American Hammers that the viewing figures over in America was massive, like especially for West Ham to be one of the top viewers. How are they being perceived over there, man?
To be honest, it's kind of the same from what I've seen being covered in the UK. Really, it's like unless West Ham are really doing something special, no one really bats an eye. But I mean, obviously, right now it's been great. We're getting a little bit more recognition. We did have a little popularity surge when Payet was playing well, but besides that, like. It's quite disgusting over here, to be honest. It's really like.
Is it big club biased over there?
To the extreme. I would say the most Americanized Premier League team over here is probably Spurs, which is disgusting. I can't stand it.
Really? Spurs is it? Why is that?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's got to be because of the San Antonio Spurs of the NBA or something. I don't know. But like. They just seem the most American friendly and like easy, like the most transitional team to cheer for some odd reason. I don't know, but it's the big club bias is over the top here. Basically, it's like the Yankees and Red Sox. Really, like Man United, in my opinion, is like the Yankees. It doesn't matter where you go. There's going to be United fans. City, they're kind of like the Red Sox. No matter where you go, you're going to see some City fans. But I mean, I haven't really seen a surgence of new West Ham fans, so it is kind of like the same. Once you're in here, you're in. Your feet are in the mud. You're not going anywhere. And just like all of us do, it's a respect thing. Like that's all we strive for. We just want to be respected, and we take that with lots of pride. And we don't really, obviously, we'll welcome in some new people if they're trying to like get into the Premier League or find a team, but like it's a dedicated bunch over here, and we take it very seriously, and we don't do that bandwagon shit over here.
Yeah, I must admit, I agree. All right, Jazz says here, what does everyone think of the no England call up for Bowen? New kids on the block, most of them, the Arsenal lot. Well, in one way, I'm pleased because I want us to win something this year, and I want all my boys fit and ready to go when they come back. But I see something the other day, right, about Jared Bowen, and I see the odds on it. Funny enough, I've been to get an England call up for the World Cup next year, and I think it was something like it was 7-1 or 8-1. I think that's a great bet. I think if he starts scoring goals,
It's not a
yeah,
bad show.
if Bowen starts scoring, then he's going to be in the mix. And Tammy Abraham, what it is with Bowen, he can rotate. He can go up front. He can go winger. He's like a Marcus Rashford type player at the minute. So, but he's just not as good as him.
That's also been very aesthetically pleasing so far. We are kind of pulling a Man City right now, almost where like you really don't know where these goals are going to come from, and I love that. I love that a lot.
I agree. I really do. Hammer's dad, funny enough, Arsenal scare me more than the others. Liverpool did, but we done them. Arsenal, I think Arsenal always one defeat away from a crisis, though, mate.
Implosion.
They would have one defeat and it all go mad, and they go, "Oh no, what's going on here?"
They're just a very trendy. They're just a very trendy squad, you know.
I agree.
They've definitely been on the up for the past week, or I don't even the last period of games. They've been on the up, but we all know how they are. One loss, Arteta out.
Yeah, and that's what it'd be. It'd be a draw against like Norwich or someone. Jazz says here, yeah, I haven't heard of any of the Spurs family or friends speak for 2 years. Spurs are top 10 at best, not really a top club like us in joint second place. Do you know what? And I'm going to take the West Ham hat off for a second and answer that question. I think Tottenham have got two good, world-class players in Kane and Son. Yeah,
without a doubt.
When I look at the rest of their team, if we was doing a combined 11, we'd have a lot more West Ham players than Spurs in there. And you can make claims for, say, Lloris.
That would be my only one besides Kane and Son. That would be my only one.
But I look at the centre halves, right? Zuma's better than all their centre halves, in my opinion. Maybe you could have a shout for someone like the new lad who they've signed, Romero, I think it is, but that's early days.
Yeah.
Right back, I'm not sure their right back is. I can't remember. If someone can tell me in the chat.
They have is it Emerson Royale or
that's it? Yeah, Emerson Royale.
And Matt Daughtry.
Yeah, and both of them are nowhere near Cafal or Ben Johnson for me.
Yeah, no.
Left back, they've got Regular, I think it is, but we've got Cresswell. Obviously, our two defensive midfield players or box-to-box midfield players are two of the best players in the league in Souček and Rice. When you go up top, then look at their front players, then I can say fair enough, their front players are quite decent. But for me, not for me. I think there's a lot of other players who do a better job, in my opinion, especially for us.
I was going to mention some when you pulled up Jazz's comment about his Spurs family not calling for a while. That's one thing I forgot to mention with over here when it comes to Premier League, and the one thing that's like just super disgusting about the Big Six bias and all that. It's like none of them they attach to a name. Like they don't know any history of the club that they support, which is that's my only issue, really. Like that is my biggest issue when it comes to like American Premier League supporters. They know nothing about their club. They just know the name. Like I fell in love with West Ham through Spencer FC. I saw a Copa 90 video and I was just like, whoa. And then I like to say I didn't choose the club. They chose me.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I had no choice, mate. It was either West Ham or homeless, and I don't fancy being homeless. So, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I had to make a decision on that. Do you know
I
what
can't
I mean?
wait to tell my sons and daughters that.
Yeah, I must admit. I agree with Jez in this one. With his comment, I must admit, when I saw this comment, I thought, well, I've got to say it straight away. I personally hate London-based Liverpool United fans who don't follow local teams. Basically, I totally agree with that. All right,
there's got to be some sort of connection. That's like someone on in South End on C rooting for Man United. That just doesn't make any sense.
See, the thing is, I support I love West Ham to death. West Ham is my team. I love them to death. But I live in a place called Dagenham, and basically my local team is up the road. Now, when they're playing, I'm a football person. I like football, so I'll go over there and watch them and support them. But West Ham is my first passion. Like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to West Ham, and like I wouldn't listen if West Ham were playing them, for instance. I'd support West Ham because that's what I would do because that's the team I love. But you've got to support your local teams, whether or not they're non-league or they're Premier League. But yeah, I don't understand this. I really don't.
Either have some roots or establish some roots. That's all I ask for. Like, if you don't know anything about your club, you're just like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a casual, of course, but like, just don't put up a front or an act like you know this and that and how much you know when like you're what was I? You don't have the facilities for that.
Yeah, I agree. Well, moving on from us talking about that, let's talk about because obviously we're going to have a little late night chat with West Ham and everything that we have done. But let's talk about the new managers coming into the league now. What's your matter, Steven Gerrard? Lucas going to Villa.
I swear the Villa job is almost like hitting the jackpot, but not, because when you get appointed, you know you're going to come in, you're going to be able to spend some money, but it's going to be a tough situation because, I mean, we've seen twice now. It's been twice now. I don't know. Was it Dean Smith that twice he was able to get like close to 90 million pounds in spending money? It was when they first came up and then last window.
Yeah,
he got
he
got a substantial amount of money to spend, and he didn't do shit when they've got some ballers on their squad. They just don't have they have no identity, and that's usually the biggest problem with clubs like with Aston Villa. They've got talent all around. They've got some players I really rate. Like I really like Emi Buendia, but he hasn't done shit this season. Leon Bailey is a decent player. He was on fire in Germany, but hasn't really done anything over here so far. But I mean, I really don't know what he'll do. All I know is he'll have some money to spend in January, and maybe he'll find the players he needs to push the system he's trying to go for. But that's really up in the air.
He said, "Sorry, but I'm not supporting Southampton. You can sod off, lads. I love West Ham. I'm pretty annoying that comment. What comment you on about, Luke? If you still here, mate?
I said, I find it's like being from Southend on Sea and supporting Man United. Doesn't make sense. But like I said, as long as you establish some roots or you have some roots and you really are passionate about the club, I'm all for it. Passion's what I go for. I'm a passion merchant. That's why I love Mark Noble. I'm a passion merchant.
I agree. So, do you think Gerrard will be a success at Liverpool, at Aston Villa?
Depends on what their goals are. They'll stay up for sure. Can they finish top half? Maybe. Like I said, they've got the ball. They got some ballers. If they find an identity in a way they want to play football, I think they can definitely finish top half. They've got some quality players. I actually do have a bet on them. In America, we use the odds of like plus 110. So $1 or $10 wins you $11.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you mean.
I actually have a bet on them to finish top half. I put that in before the season. So hopefully it comes in, but we'll see. I think they can finish top half.
I think they're going to have to go on a big run. I think Gerrard's you're going to see what he's really all about, Gerrard. I really do.
I didn't pay much attention to him at Rangers. I know he won some silverware, but I mean that's a 2-team league.
I agree. What do you make of you talking about Aston Villa? Dean Smith is now Norwich manager.
God bless his soul. I really don't know. Has he ever saved a team from relegation?
He saved Villa
Oh yeah.
2 years ago.
Oh yeah. It was a lot. That's actually one game I'll never get over. When during lockdown, and that was the one match that for some godly reason we didn't have VAR or goal line technology, and they should be down right now because we did beat them, but they say no. But I don't know. Again, I like Norwich. I liked Fark. Again, huge passion merchant guy, so of course I like him. And Norwich has got some decent players, but Billy Gilmore hasn't been playing that well. That's who I was really excited to watch. I'm a big Billy Gilmore guy. But again, they have no identity. Their defending is shocking. Timu Puki obviously isn't going to recreate what he did that one year and score 15 goals. I mean, I've also got like a $20-$30 bet on Norwich to go down at like minus 110. So I think they're pretty much destined to go down.
Yeah, I think Norwich will go down, man. I just don't think they've got the firepower. I think they're going to give it a go, though. I think the manager will get. I also feel, and this is the bet I went with, is I had turned around and said that Leeds. I had a good bet at the start of the season, Leeds to finish in the bottom half at 11-10. Because everyone was raving about Leeds, and I said Leeds have struggled this year. Second season in the league, that they will struggle. But I don't know. I've got a feeling Newcastle are in trouble, mate. I know they've just got Eddie Howe in there, but listen.
Yeah.
Come January, he can't change that entire squad overnight. Do you know what I mean?
It's gonna be tough. But I did tune into the one show where Tufty was saying that he was in 5 a.m. sharp in the morning, greeting everybody, saying hello, doing some scouting, putting in the work. And, that is something that gets the blood flowing, really makes you want to run through a wall for somebody. But it's just we're still early in the season, but it almost feels like it's a little too late to make an appointment like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think it was going to happen, mate. If I'm honest, I think it was like I think Steve Bruce had done his time there, a bit like some things with our ownership. But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like Luke says here, Newcastle needs 7 players at least, and a new defence. I agree, I really do. Scott says what we're saying about Lingard in January, mate. If we get Lingard, we win something. I'm not being deluded when I say that, and people look at me and go, "Oh, James, not like thingy." But we've got to speak facts here, all right? If we've got another player to come on, I do feel, and people might shoot me down, but I think sometimes Antonio does get. He plays okay in games, but we need better than okay. We need someone to come on and change the game. Right?
Yeah,
Antonio's he's not playing well.
Finish what you were going to say. I'm sorry.
But no, that's all right, mate. What I was saying is, like, basically, it's okay to play okay, but we need better than okay if we're going to do something. Do you know what I mean? Because we can't rely on that all the time. Take it away, Lucas.
All right. I thought you were going to say what I was going to say, and we've all obviously seen there's a minority of fans that are like, what's the point of bringing in Lingard? He didn't want to come. Yada yada yada. We have Vlasic. We have so many midfield players. Blah blah blah. Nobody, and you'll attest to me on this and agree. It almost doesn't matter. We need someone to come off the bench. We have no impact subs, zero. And as much as I love Arthur Masuaku, he is no impact sub. So like we have none. At least, and again, we need more depth for competitions. We want to win something. Jay Lings and a striker has to come. Has to. That is a must.
The thing is, I agree, and I really do. When I look at our bench,
imagine Ben Rama or Jay Lings, or even Fornals, Bowen, any one of them, come off the bench with 30 minutes to go.
Yeah,
like fresh legs going at tired legs. That's something I would love to see.
See, I'm going to ask this to the people in the chat who's watching this. What striker would they like at the club? Now, for me personally, I'm seeing people say like where we should go out and just get a backup, but that backup's got to be decent. He can't be like he needs to be on par with Antonio.
I've been on the fence. I've been on the fence about like the quality of our backup striker because I'll just throw a name out there like Andrea Bellotti, for example. I think he's a quality player, and Fabrizio Romano, who I don't really take for fact to say. He has tweeted like a couple months ago, or it might have been a month ago, that Torino aren't going to sell him in January, which is kind of dumb because he is going to just go on a free. But like, I would love Andrea Bellotti at West Ham, and I've been pushing that, or at least been hoping for that for like a year and a half, for some time. But like, he might be too good for what we're looking for. You know what I mean?
The problem is that people have got this sort of a love affair with Antonio. Now, I like Antonio. I really do. I think he's been a loyal servant at West Ham. I think he's done excellent things for the club. Yeah. But he ain't going to be able to do it forever. Like me personally, Ivan Toney's the man. That's the man that I would love at West Ham. Right? I think if Brentford ever get in trouble or go down, go and get him out at Brentford. Yeah. Pay the money because he will.
That's my ideal guy.
He's top class. He's literally a replica of Antonio. Yeah. And he brings other people into play, holds the ball up. Obviously, I think Jay Lings will happen. I do. I think it will happen. I think because he's wasted at Manchester United. He's given a chance.
That's a polite phrase. That's polite.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm trying to be polite-ish. Do you know what I mean? But I agree with what Luke says here. In terms of price and availability, I'll take Origi, but Origi's going to be free next summer.
Yeah.
But I would have took Origi in the summer, just gone. Like, I thought Origi was tailor-made for West Ham, and people were saying, "Oh, I don't know."
I'm personally desperate. I'll take anyone of decency, but if we did have to throw out a few, I like the idea of Holzchek, the Czech lad, but he's 18. He's played in the Czech league, which I wouldn't call it a farmers league, but like, again, it's almost like the Russian league. It's no farmers league, but it's like what's the competition there? And then I would definitely take Origi. I've already said I love Andrea Bellotti. I think he's a mad bastard to the core. I think he'd fit in great. But like I said, I think my main concern is I just don't want to get anyone like too good because I feel like they might not fit in the role or accept the role that Moyes wants. You know what I mean? Like Origi, in my eyes, I think would be a perfect signing for striker.
The only other way, because you could do this is go and buy another winger and basically go, right, get another winger, and then if anything was to happen to Antonio, Bowen will go up front.
Yeah. And I know you were on the Abdallah Sima train before he got bought by Brighton and loaned out. I also really, really wanted him because
I can't understand that one. I really cannot. Like, how does he end up at Stoke? He's playing for Stoke now, which
it's crazy.
I know his attitude was poor.
I agree, though. The next striker we bring in, I would like the accessibility of him being able to play out wide just in case. But I think Origi would, in terms of what we're trying to accomplish, how our squad is, the hierarchy of positions, I think Origi would probably be our best fit because he knows he's going to come in. He's going to get some playing time. He's definitely going to play some European games.
Do Liverpool sell him to us, or like will Liverpool give him to us when we're up there with them? Do you know what I mean?
Depends on Klopp. If it coming from Klopp, he'd probably be willing because he doesn't think we're anything.
I will name you two players that I would love to see in a West Ham shirt. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If we had money and we should be able to attract these players. Rafinha at Leeds, a winger. I think he's a great player. I think. I know he's a winger, but then if Bowen can go up front, then that opens up the space, then, doesn't it? So that turns from one striker to another, and the other one would be Ismail Sarr at Watford, Senegalese.
Yes, he is a baller.
Do you know what I mean? And I look at it like that, and then you've got pace and power going down the sides. That's the one thing that we don't really have, is pace. We have Antonio. Fornells is fast-ish, but he's not rapid. Bowen's rapid. Benny's can run, but he's not like a speed merchant. And yeah, I'd have them two. If someone said to me, give me a blank check and said, right, here you go and tell me what players you need, Rafinha at Leeds, mate. Because I do think Liverpool will come in for him eventually.
Yeah,
Liverpool are looking at him.
I love them both. But if I had to choose, I think I'd lean a little bit more towards Ismail Sarr.
Yeah.
He is quality. He's so good.
I think he's absolutely wasted at Watford. I don't understand why no one's taking a risk on him. And
me neither.
Like, I just look at him and I think, you know what? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But let's have a look in the chat. What we've got here. Origi would prefer to live in London. Or we prefer to live in London. I agree. But will we get him? That's another question. No, lads, buy a striker, and if need be, Antonio can move onto the wing. I don't agree with that because I just don't think he's got the pace anymore to go on the wing. Like
my big concern is his crossing for me.
Yeah.
Like I think he can still do a job on the wing, but his crossing is just so bad. It's so bad. If in a perfect world, if we signed a striker this January, I would really enjoy Andrea Bellotti's bastardly self in London quite much.
I like Luke's sense of humor. Bring Carlos Sanchez and all the problems solved. Yeah, he can show people with boots. Yeah, but listen, to sort of think about it. Obviously, we've got Noah Bonner now, and I'm hearing people saying about Tarkowski and all. Like, I don't want him at the club. I don't understand that one. He didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
Talking of a player, Lucas, obviously with your Croatian roots, Kaleta Kar. Talk to me, mate. Tell me what you know about that man.
He's about as he is. I think he is the new type of defender that everyone loves. So, like me personally, I'm used to, us. If I had to personify my footballing preferences, I would say I'm old school. Say like with goalkeeping, like I don't give a shit if my goalkeeper can kick a ball. If he can stop a shot, grab the ball, that's cool with me. And it's almost the same with defending. I'm very old school. That's why I loved Ben Johnson to start off. Like he would get the ball, he'd clear it. No nonsense. Intercept, clear, down the field. Loved it. But that was when we were fighting relegation. So different standards now. But Kaleta Kar is like that new defender that like people are starting to like move towards. Like he's decent on ball, he can pass. He's no stiff. He's not Peter Crouch with the ball. He can move a little bit. Solid in the air, good defender. I'm not really big on the left-footed left side center back. Like I don't really think that's that big of a deal. Everyone's like, "Oh, we can't. That wouldn't be a good signing because he's not left-footed." Like, I really could care less about that.
Well, basically, in that situation, if you're going to play the ball to him, you've got to play it on his right hand side. Ain't you? That's the only difference. But I've seen a little bit of Kaleta Kar, and I think he's not too bad. I think him and Zuma together would be a good pairing, I must admit. Obviously, Abonna's gone down, injured, which is a blow. What before we sort of come to the end, Lucas? What's your thoughts on that? Of Abonna going down?
It's sad because I mean he's one of the most loved players of the club for sure. He's been with us through thick and thin, tragedy, amazing upswing. And he's an Italian defender. You know how they are. They only get better with age. All of them. It's ridiculous. And you know, it's sad that I'm hoping this isn't the end and this isn't the injury that puts him out. But like as a West Ham fan, you can only think of the worst, honestly. And if it was or if it is, he's been a great servant and just he's a great guy too. Great for the dressing room.
Mm.
And that's when it comes to signings and like all these players, like that is my main concern. I just want someone that's going to fit in the dressing room. That's all I want.
I think this is my own personal opinion. I don't think he returns at West Ham. If I'm honest,
Yeah.
it's an hard one. Do you give this geezer a contract and hope he returns?
Because
And
we
is he
still
going to
don't
be
know the severity of the injury, right?
Yeah. So to me, I don't know, they say no news is good news, but if you're not hearing anything, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? I'll be quite shocked if he plays this season. If they turn around and say, "Oh, he's only going to be out for 6 weeks,"
he's at least out for the year, in my opinion.
yeah,
So it really
and
depends on the shit he's doing off the pitch, you know. But
mm,
it's going to be hard to. And again, it all depends. Like if he does come back, I can't see him making it back into the first team with a snap of finger. Like he's
mm,
probably going to be relegated to the Dawson Diop role. And
I
will he
agree with you there.
perform? Will he perform to that standard, that new standard we're asking from him? Who knows?
I agree with you there, mate. 100,000%. We're hoping he's going to come back and walk straight back into the team, and I just don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I believe this is my own personal opinion. I believe West Ham have got to go for Coletta Carr. They've got to get that done. And I do believe that if West Ham get Coletta Carr, that Coletta Carr and Zuma together will be a proper defence.
Yeah.
Right, that's a solid defence. Obviously, I've got my sort of feelings towards Issa Diop. I like Issa Diop. I think Issa's. I don't think Issa gets enough respect. Really, I think sometimes he becomes a bit of a scapegoat, in my opinion. But I think if we can get Coletta Carr in the door or someone, a top defender, I think West Ham just got to pay the money and just go, because we can't rely on Craig Dawson to come in and
And again,
be
he's getting up there
unbelievable.
too. He's 31, 32.
Yeah.
The way he plays, can that last another year or 2 years? Probably not. I'm enjoying him while I can, because I do love me some Craig Dawson. But again, always my concern. As long as these players like know what they're buying into, because like Coletta Carr, he doesn't want to be the Craig Dawson role where like I'll play some Europa League games, I'll play some Premier Leagues. Coletta Carr is almost like a not first name on the team sheet, but like he's got to be in your starting 11. He's that good.
Yeah, and that's what I want to see, Lucas, if I'm honest. I know people will say, well, you don't know what Coletta Carr is going to be like, right? Because obviously he's played in France, but obviously it's a catch-22 situation. What do you do? Do you go with Coletta Carr, who's not played the league, or do you go with Dawson or Issa? I just think we've just got to go out and sign someone who we know will come in and go alongside Zuma and just be the rock. I do believe there's a place for Issa Diop there, though. I don't know why. I just think I think this season's the last season that Issa's got to try and sort himself out. Because if he don't, I believe next time he'll be sold.
Yeah, because I also rate Issa Diop highly. I think he has incredible potential. Again, it's almost kind of like with Ben Johnson. There's a few things he really just has to clean up that like will put him over the fence of being like, all right, you're gonna be one of the first names on the team sheet. I can't drop you. Because he has all the qualities. There's just a few inconsistencies that I think can definitely be cleaned up. For sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't get that pass from out of the back against Leicester out of my head.
I think he's a player, Lucas. I really do. And I've had many debates on different platforms, and I've backed him up multiple times. And the thing is, what I try and be is consistent in what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When I look at people like Craig Dawson, for instance, I look at a player there who he's not a first teamer. He's your go-to man when we are struggling, like, and you get you through the hard times. But he can't play 10, 15 games in the
Yeah,
season because
that's the problem with the whole Issa Diop thing, in my opinion. It's like, what was I gonna say? Ah, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I think I know what you're probably going to say. You're probably going to say something like where Issa don't play regularly enough.
Yeah.
How can
Oh,
he?
this is what I was gonna say. Issa Diop just needs to find that separation between, are you a situational player, or can I play you at any time I need you? Like Craig Dawson, in my opinion, it in that situation, like I need someone solid. I can depend on you. I think Craig Dawson is a bit more reliable in that sense. But Issa Diop is the better player.
Well, yeah.
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. It's the same thing with Areola.
And you know Moyes. Moyes is, I've said it a million times, he is a classic mob boss. He's an Italian mob boss. Once you're in the family, you're in, and it's hard to get in.
Yeah, and do you know what? I remember you saying that on American Hammers. And I remember that, and yeah, it is. It's true. Like, for how
Once
much
you're in the
time?
doghouse, you're there. It's hard
Yeah,
to get out.
and I look at it. You've only got to look at it with Ben Johnson. But then I do like that. That's one thing I will say. I do like that sort
And
of.
he's fair. He's fair most of the time. That is one thing you cannot take away from David Moyes. He's stern, but he's so fair. He is a fair manager. Like, if he wasn't fair, Ben Johnson would not be playing right now. Sufal would be playing. But David Moyes is fair, and I want him at the wheel, even off the ledge.
100%, mate.
I'll ride with him off a mountain. I don't care.
Yeah, and I agree, mate. And yeah, I've got to admit, Moyes is doing good. And yeah, I must admit, long may it continue. Big season though. This is. It's definitely a big transfer window coming up for sure. I must admit. But Lucas, let's wrap it up there, mate. We've done an hour and 20 minutes, and it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. I must admit, it's flown by. Really enjoyed it.
I'll give you all my, as you call it, an accumulator or an ACA.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go with a West Ham and where is it? West Ham and Southampton to win 4-1.
Who's Southampton got, Lucas?
Norwich.
Oh, I might have some of that. That's not bad. All right.
Over here, they're plus 110 to win, and West Ham's plus 145.
Well,
4-1 odds for both of them to win.
4-1. I will be back with my preview in the week. I must admit, I had a treble at the weekend, and one team let me down. Fuming. But yeah. Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Lucas. Thanks for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate it. That has been a late night show with me and Lucas. I hope everyone's enjoyed it. I really do. If you are new around here and you've been watching throughout and you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. It goes a long way. It helps me out. Please get me to 200, mate. It is annoying me massively. You know
get them there, please.
But yeah, I'm going to try and bring some more content. I'm going to try and do something in the week with the American Hams boys. Player ratings so far this season, which will be interesting. I like to get people's opinions on different things, and like everyone's got an opinion. I want to hear it. So, and whether I agree with it, and that's another thing.
He's after those opinions. I want them all.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's nice to have opinions because people see football in a different way to how I might see it. Like me and Affers have had many a debates, and I respect his opinion, but I might not agree with it, but I respect it. So, is what it is. But yeah, you can find me back here and there. Obviously, we've got Wolves coming up, preview for that. And yeah, it's a big game at the weekend. Premier League is back, and it's back now for the next X amount of months, which is amazing. And no breaks. So that is good, mate. So yeah, that is goodbye from him. I've got to remember it's reverse, and it's goodbye from me. Take care, everyone. Stay safe, and all the best. Bye. for now.